Hey guys, I just wanted to do a short video. Today I'm doing up all my wolf traps the way I like them set up. Tons of different ways you can set them up: short chains, long chains, more swivels, less swivels, more springs, less springs, different types of springs, all that. Set them up however you want, you feel comfortable, or if you know somebody that's had a lot of good luck or success using the trap set up a different way than this. Don't think that this is anything special here. So I'm basing this off of what I learned in a wolf course I took, I think about 2 years ago now. They do a lot of wolf and bear footholding out in BC. Other than that, my experience on footholds is basically coyotes, the odd fox, that sort of thing. So I kind of have one system I'm going to be using for my coyotes and my wolves. It's definitely overkill for my coyotes, but it should work really well for my wolves. And this chain setup that I'm putting on these also works really well for hooking up to my drags. I don't have to change anything else out. It's one system that works for both solid staking and my drags. So kind of the main reason why I do it like this. Like I said, it's overkill for coyotes, but I only need one set of stakes, and I can run multiple species. So I bought some traps here from a guy. These are Bridger Alaskan. They're the modified jaws, and he also had MB750s. They're double laminated, so both of these are certified for wolves in Canada. We do have to use AHITS approved traps here, so something to remember. Not my first choice in traps. I have a pile of wolf traps already set up. I've got some Canine Extremes and some Lays and some Beers traps and a whole bunch of different ones that I actually prefer over these two, but we're going to set these up and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So these traps that I bought, they've been set up like this. The guy before me, I don't know how much experience he had with footholding or footholding wolves. I see he's got the JC Connors, the coyote sized spring on it, which I'm going to swap out. He also ran it inline, and I see he wanted a short cable. I'm not sure what he was using for, or not cable, short chain. Not sure what he was using for a stake. That's kind of just how the ends are left, or these crunch proof swivels. The other thing I see right away is he didn't weld his S hooks when he put the springs on, which is a huge no-no. Like, they should all be welded. This obviously came from factory like that. Same with the eyelets on these springs, or these the eyelets on this swivel here are both welded up as well. And that's how you need to be doing your wolf traps. If you do nothing else, just make sure you have good springs and everything's welded on your setups. So I want my setup to be 3 feet of chain is what I prefer. I like 3 swivels. We got one swivel here, second swivel here, third swivel here, and then I actually leave chain on my end. And this right here is my stake. And again, this is something I learned from that wolf course, is this kind of has a swiveling piece on this rebar, and I'm using a 36-inch piece of 3/4 inch rebar. Or sorry, this is 1/2 inch rebar. And then to secure the traps to the actual stake, this is a coyote one. That's why it's got the little JC Connors spring on it. But the coyotes, I'm not too worried. They aren't super strong, so I just put the swivel in through there. And then I use a quick link to attach onto the chain. So on the wolf ones, I don't want to put the swivel through like that. That's going to be a weak spot. So like I was saying, I leave a few extra links, and I'm going to shove that link through there and put the quick link on it that way, and that's going to secure it to the stake. So that's my system. I'm going to get to cutting these, putting them all on, and yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, or you guys suggestions, definitely let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to get back to as many of those comments as I can. Thanks. So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting these JC Connors springs together. Now when you get them out of the package, what you're going to notice is one side is just a little bit rounded. It's kind of ground off or sanded off so it's smooth. One side's a little bit sharper. You want to find those two the sharp sides. You want to put them together, and that's going to help your spring slide together. You're not going to end up cutting up the wolf's leg or paw, doing that sort of thing. So you put one in one way, make sure you got the sharper sides there together, put it in the other way, and that's all you have to do for these springs. And then of course your swivel's going to connect onto it, another swivel and chain off the other end just like this. So I'll keep going here. So what I've done here is I've pretty much got everything assembled the way I'm going to want it. I'm going to set up an assembly line, and then I'm actually going to turn the welder on here and start welding everything together. So it's a lot more efficient to do, kind of set it up like an assembly line if you're doing a bunch of traps here. So. Okay, so I got all these chains put together. So I got my big box swivels on here, got my neck swivel there. Everything closer to the trap is already welded up. I showed you guys earlier. All these eyelets are welded close to factory, which is perfect. Yeah, so I just have to weld this eyelet closed, that eyelet, and this eyelet here. These traps are done. I'm going to give these a wash of soap, get all the grease off them, and then I will be boiling all these traps in logwood crystals, and then want some full metal jacket to try on them this year. So I might end up doing that if I have time. If not, it'll just be logwood crystal, but either way that should be good. So I'll fire up the welder and I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. All those welds are looking good. You really don't need much for contact on there. You're just making sure that those eyelets can't open up when a wolf starts yanking on them, right? So that's quite a bit of force. You gotta think, you know, on the low end you're gonna have a 65-pound wolf, probably doing, you know, 18, 19 kilometer an hour jolts at the end of that chain. If he does that half a dozen times, that's a lot of force going into these linkages here. These springs definitely help a lot, but that's not going to stop when a big animal, you know, especially if the chain binds up and all that. Yeah, things happen. So welding is extremely important for this. Okay, everything looks good here. So now that this is done here, like I showed you guys before, I use these half-inch rebar, or a little bit bigger, I'm not sure. I leave a couple of links on here. This can swivel all the way around, and this is 3 feet long. I just have it cut down, angled on that end. And what I do is I take and I put the link from the trap through the link on the stake, goes in there like that, and all I do is put a quick link through where I'm holding here. Through this piece I put a quick link there, and that way it's stuck. So the wolf's pulling against that, basically there like that, and it can't come out. Then when I want to take it out, or if I have to swap a trap, say I caught a porcupine or, you know, something else, or even a wolf in this trap, and I just want to swap it out for a clean one, I open up that quick link, pop this out, grab a different trap, same thing, shove it in there, quick link in it, and this stays in the ground. So to get these out, they look like a real pain to get it in and out of the ground. What I do is take a set of vice grips, and I just clamp it on the end. You wiggle it back and forth, and as you're wiggling, you're pulling up, and it'll start to come up a little. Sometimes you can get a pickaxe under them and pry them up, you know, even a little bit. But as soon as you get that vice grip on, it starts turning, you can pull them up pretty good through the ground. So this is my system that I use. Again, it's not the only system out there. Some people like short chains. They say the animals don't damage their foot as bad because they can't get a run at it. I haven't found that. A lot of guys that I've talked to kind of say the same thing. I know the Fur Institute of Canada did a bunch of testing on it, and it seemed like the longer chains, like 10 foot or longer, were actually more humane because the chain had a lot of slack when it would fire up. And then giving those animals more room to move around, they'd settle down a lot faster than a short chain. I use 3-foot chains for the reason of I'm always worried about them pumping my stakes up. If they can stand, at a 45 or straight above the stake, they have a chance of pulling it straight up, working it out of the ground. So I like to have 3 feet of chain. That way they can get out 2-3 feet beside it, and they're spinning the chain around there and actually lifting it up and pulling. So that's all personal preference. Definitely check your local provincial and state laws. What's legal here may not be legal where you are, so I don't want you guys to get in trouble copying something I'm doing. So, and again, I'm not coming up with this idea. This is all a setup that somebody else that catches wolves taught me. So, yeah. No matter how you set your traps up, I hope you guys have luck, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next video.